Honourable Speaker, Honourable Deputy Prime Minister, Honourable Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Member of Parliament. I rise to thank you for the opportunity to update this noble House the status of our peacekeeping operations with the United Nations in the Middle East and Northern East Africa. Also, Madam Speaker, given the latest security development in the Sinai, Egypt, I wish to also speak on the multinational force and observer concerning the development of our troops serving with MFO. Madam Speaker, currently we have 643 Republic of Fiji military forces, Fiji Police Force and Correctional Services personnel serving on the United Nations, and the other 338 with a multinational force and observer deployed missions overseas. Since my last update on our peacekeeping operation status, we have all seen the building instability in the region of our deployed personnel and the increased uncertainty that they face in the changing paradigm of fluid circumstances. But of course, the confidence in them is evident for them to be considered for such endeavors for service to the nation and to the globe. In the last month or so, Madam Speaker, there have been rotations to our deployed missions to the Sudan and Darfur, with the United Nations mission on South Sudan, UNMISS, and United Nations mission in Darfur, UNAMID, respectively, with the police contingent have rotated already for both missions, and as well as our RFF officers serving in UNMISS. Madam Speaker, the Fiji police commitment to the South Sudan and in Darfur in Sudan is mentioned earlier will experience shortly the rotation of deployed officers. As I mentioned, that there has been a recent rotation conducted with our police contingent in South Sudan, with also the most senior female deployed officer, Senior Superintendent Unaisi Bunuanga, a member of the rotation. Madam Speaker, the situation in both Darfur and in South Sudan is very similar, with certain frictions that sometimes result in violent clashes between pro-government and anti-government elements, and also traditional rival conflicts between factions and tribal opponents. The situation is quite unpredictable given the sway of politics in the country and region, and of the sometimes rigid perception that the local have on the UN force. Some influential locals and opposition still have the hinted notion that the UN sometimes has biased interests, and this encapsulates the irregular security environment. Added to these safety issues, our personnel face some local infections such as mosquito-borne diseases in malaria, dengue or heat sickness, etc. And our personnel are not only advised on the necessary precaution, but provided ample medical services and aid by the UN to counter and/or mitigate these prone viruses. Madam Speaker, the reputable relations forged by the Fiji personnel in Darfur by the Fiji police and in South Sudan by our Fiji police, correction and RFMF personnel deployed there have been successful, and this has significantly enhanced the observation and perception by UNMISS of the Fiji contingent service quality during operations and transitional rotation of personnel. UNMISS and UNMID HQ continues to assure troop contributing countries the safety and security of our personnel in the area of operation, despite some field areas of deployment considered quite isolated. UNDOF. Madam Speaker, the United Nations Disengagement and Observer Force UNDOF mission in Golan Heights explicitly states the requirement for the force to use its best efforts to enforce the mandate. The current temporary relocation provides UNDOF with a less than optimal capacity to achieve this. Focus as it is on the Alpha side since September of 2014. The Fiji contingent serving with UNDOF in the Golan still remain on the Alpha side of the area of separation in Israel. The troops, Madam Speaker, are providing protection on location at the area of separation and UN Position 80. Further, Madam Speaker, the Fiji contingent also provides support for 4 locations occupied by the Nepalese ANDOF personnel north of the area of operation towards Mount Herman. Additionally, Madam Speaker, the rest of the Fiji contingent continues to provide personnel as support elements at ANDOF headquarters. Madam Speaker, ANDOF still undergo the process and intention to reoccupy Bravo Zone of the area of separation on the Syrian side, despite the continued clashes between the Syrian Arab forces, SAF, and the anti-government armed elements, AGI. ANDOF, on return to the Bravo side of the area of separation partially or in full, will not be the force that relocated almost 2 years ago. It will be characterized by protected mobility, a patrolling and observing capability with integration of smart technologies being the central pillar of the operation design. It is also important to consider that the fact that ANDOF has had most of the force relocated on the Alpha side of the area of separation for almost 2 years, since September 2014. In the time, the mission has been unable to move beyond the status quo due to a non-permissive operating environment. That non-permissive environment no longer exists in the areas of ANDOF is considered positive for the commencement of an increment return. Madam Speaker, the Fiji contingent in ANDOF will continue in the support responsibility required of us. Fiji remains steadfast in the commitment to the ANDOF mandate and mission leadership with the next rotation due for late July 2016. This rotation is significant in that the deployed personnel will be accompanied by the first equipment from Russian military aid to Fiji. UNAMI in Iraq. Madam Speaker, the United Nations Assistance Mission to Iraq continues with the normal operation as mandated. Madam Speaker, the Iraqi general situation remains volatile, as well with an increase of demonstration and clashes with government and anti-government protesters and affiliates. The Fiji contingent continues to man and guard the UNAMI headquarters under the mandate. UNAMI is mandated to advise and assist the government and people of Iraq on a number of fronts. This includes advancing inclusive political dialogue and national reconciliation, assisting in the electoral process and in the planning for a national census, facilitating regional dialogue between Iraq and its neighbors, and promoting the protection of human rights and judicial and legal reform. Fiji troops with UNAMI are tasked as a guard unit responsible for the safety of UNAMI staff and installation in Iraq. UNIFIL in Lebanon. In order to implement its mandate as defined by the UN Security Council Resolution 1701 of 2006, the United Nations National Interim Forces in Lebanon carries out a range of operations across its area of operation between the Litani River in the north and the Blue Line of withdrawal of Israeli Defense Force in the south. These include day and night time patrolling, establishment of observation posts, monitoring of the Blue Line, and carrying out clearance of unexploded ordnance and cluster munition. The line of withdrawal, also called the Blue Line, was identified in 2000 by the United Nations in cooperation with Lebanese and Israeli officials for the purpose of confirming the withdrawal of Israel Defense Force troops from Lebanon territory in conformity with Security Council Resolution 425. The Blue Line is not the border between Lebanon and Israel. Importantly, UNIFIL operates in support of the Lebanese armed forces that has primary responsibility for ensuring security in the area. Madam Speaker, the Fiji contingent deployed under the UNIFIL is mandated as the multi-task protection unit that is under the direct command and control of the force commander. Madam Speaker, the situation in Lebanon, whilst not as unstable as other missions, still experience the volatility because of the mission location on the border. Reports, however, indicate the quick adaptation of the Fiji contingent carrying out their duties and responsibility efficiently. MFO Sinai. Madam Speaker, the situation in the United States-led multinational observance force and its mandated area of operation in the Sinai, Egypt, has dramatically changed and deteriorated since 2013. The initial MFO reconfiguration presented and was discussed by MFO Director General and Force Commander during their visit to Fiji on 15 February 2016 indicated that RFMF troop numbers would remain at 338 with some changes to other troop contributing countries, namely the US and Colombian battalions respectively. However, the existing and increasing security threats, mitigation measures, and continuous assessment made by MFO has led to the relocation, rebalancing, and under the current circumstances has now resulted in the reduction of numbers of Fiji battalion as well. The impact of the Egyptian government changes and its transition from the Muslim Brotherhood-backed government to the current elected president and former Egyptian Army Chief General Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has led to the escalation in militant attacks against the Egyptian armed forces in the Sinai Peninsula. The recent security threats assessment and the indirect fire from militant impacting Al Gora, the MFO headquarters, has prompted MFO to rush the reconfiguration implementation that includes the relocation and rebalancing of troops on 21st of May 2016. Given the planned reduction of RFMF MFO's troop strength from 338 to 92 personnel, this has prompted RFMF to reevaluate the overseas deployment plans and the insertion of returning MFO personnel into various units locally, as well as consideration of some of other overseas deployment. The plan reduced 92 Fiji troops will be tasked at force protection of civilian observer units based in the MFO South Camp in Sharm el-Sheikh. This apparent reduction of Fiji troops is still at a negotiation stage with government pursuing dialogue with the involved state of Egypt, Israel, US, and the MFO headquarters in Rome. Madam Speaker, to conclude, Fiji's commitment to peacekeeping operations should and must remain steadfast. Strategic and economic benefits are evident and will continue to grow. Our political leverage as a result of our commitment will also develop. We are a superpower in peacekeeping. We are a good global citizen. Let us continue this way. Government and the RFMF continue to closely monitor the situation with the assistance of the various mission heresies, and the safety of our servicemen and servicewomen deployed remain paramount. With that, Madam Speaker, I wish to end my statement update this afternoon. Shukriya, and thank you.